Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is Robert, and today I'm bringing to the full drop list for this week, which is going to be week 8 of the full winter season. Now this is a little bit late today, purely because of the fact that Supreme just don't like to update stuff early anymore. It used to be the thing that we would get news between like 11:30 to like 12:30, you know, within that sort of range. Now it just seems like it's a 4 PM thing, which is great. Yep. But anyway, we've got all of the teas. Some of them are okay, some of them not so much. We've then got the rest of the week, obviously, which I think across the board is actually quite good, dependent on the retail. But yeah, let's just jump straight into this anyway, go through it, and as per normal, let me know down below whether or not your items from last week have arrived or not. But regardless, let's go. Okay, so jumping straight into it, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot going on, as you can tell. But the teas are going to be a main highlight because it is obviously the full teas week, but we're going to be kicking things off with the Western microblade. It's not going to drop in Europe, so there's no real point in me caring too much about it. It's cool, different colourway choices, but yeah, we're not going to get it, so there's that. We kick off with the first tee being the Snow White tee. So far, you know, things would be adjusted and such, but this is it as of yet. Great front. I like how it is. Nice, easy. Don't know what's going on here. It does not match with Snow White in any way. I understand wanting to have Supreme on the back, but it just doesn't match like the aesthetic that is Snow White. Maybe it's me. Anyway, from there we have the Pantone Formula Guide. I saw that there were expectations for this to be like 300 or like 250 to 300. Now in the end I think that kind of goes along with the kind of price guide that these are. I mean, I believe that you can get them for about 130 to 160, maybe 170 at a push. So for it to be like 250 to 300, I'd be kind of surprised because there's nothing that is going to differentiate it from the normal Pantone guide, except for the fact that it will just have a Supreme box logo basically at the front. So if they're going to try and charge just for that aspect, I wouldn't really call it a collaboration because there's nothing that they can actually realistically change because the formula guide is the formula guide. So yeah, anyway, from there we move on to the Snow White sweater. Snow White pieces I do think are really nice across the board, and I believe this is the same font. So that's the one thing that I don't really get, is that it really doesn't go with the aesthetic, and I said it when I first saw this piece, which is why I don't really understand why they've done it for the tee as well. I get it, you're trying to stick with the theme, but it just feels like, especially with this graphic, because it hasn't got a whole lot going on and it doesn't match the same style as the sweater, because the sweater font and everything, you can see it in that way, you can see the edges to it, so it works a bit better. But still, yeah, it just, because they're so far apart on a tee when it's printed, it just doesn't look like it works. But anyway, is what it is. So from there we've got the faux shirling lined work shirt. I think the colourways are okay, except for this red. I'm not like the biggest fan, but the other colourways I think are perfectly fine, especially the blue. The black I think is okay, but the blue and I think like the cream are probably the best two in the end, personally. From there we have the collegiate half sit pullover, perfectly fine, nice and easy colourways. I'm a fan of grey mainly. Green is fine, tan is fine, but grey is like the hit for me. We have the space dye striped beanie up next. These beanies have been quite big hits as of late, especially with the different like colour styles and ranges to them. Personally, it's going to be the black colourway, but I have seen a lot of people saying that like the multi sort of tones has been grabbing their eye. So to be honest, it's just down to personal preference. If you like blue, go for blue. Magenta, purple, pink, green, brown, whatever you like, go for it at the end of the day. Next up we have a Gore-Tex tape seam shell jacket. Yeah, just basic, easy. At the end of the day, colourways are fine. I'd probably say that it'd be green or the tan for me personally, and that is about it. We then have the Star football jersey up next. I don't know how this one's going to go down, to be honest. I think that everything's great for it. You've got a large number, you've got Supreme, you've got like minimal designs on the front. I just don't know how people feel about the Star in general. Personally for me, it would probably be the black colourway or the green that I think would do the best. But I've seen a lot of people say, what is the front colourway, like this multi-tan tone. So maybe that's the one that takes the cake in the end. But for me, I feel that it'd just be black or green because they're just a lot easier. We've got a skateboard. Don't know what it looks like. So that's that. From there we've got a striped zip-up fleece jacket. I definitely like the front colourway, or prefer the front colourway to the back colourway, but that's just personal preference. We've got the For Life tee up next, which obviously is Supreme For Life backwards. Yeah, Front to it's nice, plain simple. They're using this same sort of like font style that they brought back in like for Winter 21 or so, and since then they've just been like throwing it out basically every like tee opportunity that they can basically, but I'm not mad at that. I think it's fine, but yeah, it's nothing crazy as an overall. We then have the Mr. Cartoon zip up hoodie next. Yeah, massive embroidery on the hood and on the chest. I think it's perfectly fine. I'm not a massive zip up person, but I think it looks really cool. And yeah, following the Mr. Cartoon artwork, we then have the embroidered leather jacket up next, which I think is extremely detailed, really nice looking, and yeah, in either colourway. I'd probably say the black probably makes use of it more because you can see the details a little less, which I feel is a bit better. It means that people almost have to focus a bit more, but overall either of the two I think is great in the end. So yeah, we then have the willow tee, which I love the amount of detail to. I just wish that it didn't follow the same sort of pattern that Supreme go with, where you have a massive design or you have a design and you keep it to like a vest region. Just spread it to like the arms. That'd be fine if it was the whole back spread. I understand that it might be a thing to do with folding and maybe the graphic and such, but at the same time, for a graphic that's this detailed and cool, just spread it, like, or even just do a full all over tee. Like, there's nothing on the front, it's just on the back, and yeah, I just feel like that just might be a bit better. Rhinestone skateboards up next, not really my favourite thing. So we've got 4 tees in a row, being the Blockbuster, the Script, the Days End tee, and the Lollipop tee. Blockbuster is plain and simple. Forever Outshine is what it says on the back. Big graphics, 2024 Supreme. It's okay. The Script tee is plain and simple. Does as it says, like does as advertised basically. We've got the Days End tee, which has 2 different graphics or photos, one on the front and one on the back. It also has at the top Gordon Matter Clark, which I believe is the skateboard. Yeah, so same thing in the end. From there we have the Lollipop tee, where it's a split tongue with a lollipop. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people like it. I understand why in the end. So yeah, we can move on from there onto the Rhinestone Balaclava. Not my favourite. The Blood tee, yeah, it's not my favourite either, I can't lie. The Mr. Cartoon New Era is up next. Personally, the Royal colourway and the black colourway stand out the most. Rhinestone short sleeve top. I'm just not a rhinestone person, I can't lie, so my opinions will just be biased as a result. The work pant, different colourways in comparison to the normal that we get, which is fine. Rhinestone 5 panel, no. Like, I'm not trying to look like Zac Efron in 21 again. It's not happening. So from there we've got the Gore-Tex pant and a corduroy pocket camp cap. Yeah, I still really don't understand the whole pocket thing with hats. The colourway's perfectly fine, but it's corduroy at the same time. So yeah, last couple of items, I think it takes a little bit of a dip. For the tees, I'd probably say personally, I'm intrigued by the Days End and the Lollipop tee. Not really so much like anything from there apart from the Snow White tee in the end personally. So yeah, that is going to cover it. As per norm, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you're going to be going for, what you like, what you dislike, and that about covers it. So I do hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.